Well, aloha! It's Friday. This is Jamie Barber with Jamie Barber Homes saying, aloha! It's Friday. And it's a beautiful day here in Southern California. So, let's get right to it. Let's discuss real estate. That's what we're here for. So, let's look at why today's housing market isn't headed for a crash. 67% of Americans say a housing market crash is imminent in the next 3 years. With all the talk in the media lately about shifts in the housing market, it makes sense why so many people feel it's that way. But there's good news. Current data shows today's market is nothing like it was during the crash in 2008. Back then, mortgage standards were much less strict. During the lead up to the housing crisis, it was much easier to get a home loan than it is today. Banks were creating artificial demand by lowering lending standards and make it easy for just about anyone to qualify for a home loan or refinance to existing loans. As a result, lending institutions took on much greater risk in both the person and the mortgage products offered. That led to mass defaults, foreclosures, and falling prices. Today, things are different, and purchasers face much higher standards from the mortgage company. So, tighter lending standards have helped prevent a situation that could lead to a wave of foreclosures like the last time. Another thing that's happened is foreclosure volume has declined a lot since the crash. It's another difference is the number of homeowners that were facing foreclosure when the housing bubble burst. Foreclosure activity has been lower since the crash, largely because buyers today are more qualified and less likely to default on their loans. So there has been a little ticking up of the foreclosures, but the total number is still very low. And on top of that, most experts don't expect foreclosures to go up drastically like they did following the crash in 2008. Bill McBride, founder of Calculated Risk, he explains the impact and a large increase in foreclosures had on home prices back then and how that's unlikely this time. He said the bottom line is there will be an increase in foreclosures over the next year from record level lows, but there will not be a huge wave of distressed sales as happened following the housing bubble. So the distressed sales during the housing burst led to cascading price declines, and that's not going to happen this time. Now, supply of homes for sale today, it's pretty limited. I mean, it's not what it has been, but it's better than it was, let's say, a year and a half ago. For historical context, there were too many houses for sale during the housing crisis, many of which were short sales and foreclosures. And that caused prices to fall dramatically. Now, supply has increased since the start of this year, but there's still a shortage of inventory available overall, primarily due to years of underbuilding homes. So, what's the bottom line? If recent headlines have you worried we're headed for another housing crash, the data that we just showed you should help ease those fears, or I just told you, should help ease those fears. Expert insights and the most current data clearly show that today's market is nothing like it was in 2008 when the crash happened. All right. So hopefully that puts your mind a little at ease. If you're interested in buying or selling or investing in real estate assets, I'm your man. Jamie at jamiebarberhomes.com. Email me. I'm happy to talk to you, answer any questions that you have. Again, it's Jamie at jamiebarberhomes.com. And it's Aloha Friday. No work till Monday. Well, unless you're a realtor, you're in retail sales, or you're in hospitality, then you might have to work the weekend. But the rest of us, aloha. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you next week when we discuss real estate here in Southern California. All right. Have a good one. And aloha.